1, 2, 3.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Darren here.
Brandon, and welcome to the White Hatter YouTube news show update show.
This show's going to be kind of interesting because there's not really anything like on the happy side of social media.
It's been an interesting week of news stories in regards to.
Oh, God.
I mean, we have some good updates.
Yeah, we do. We have some good updates. But on the news side of things, it's kind of like, my God, with everything else is going on in the world right now, it's kind of like,
Well, before we get to the news, let's talk about some updates from us in the White Hatter. So first update here on the YouTube channel, we have a new video from Justin Patchen, one of the world's leading cybersecurity, cyberbullying research.
Yes. Him and Samir.
Yes, they run the Cyberbullying Research
Center. Yeah, just a great interview. I interviewed him on a whole issue surrounding bullying in all its forms, but concentrating specifically on cyberbullying and just getting his thoughts. It's a video that every parent should watch, especially those kids that are in elementary and middle schools. That just some really good information. So check it out. It's free. It's on our YouTube channel, which is
You're on it, the White Hatter.
Absolutely, and don't forget to hit that
subscribe button.
Ding!
Help us reach our 1,000 goal at this moment.
Yeah, we wanna increase our followers. We're at like 652 or something like that right
yeah.
now. So we want to get to 1,000. So
also news for upcoming webinars this week. We are doing our monthly security and privacy business update show, kind of like this show, but more so for businesses. So for people who are working professionals.
That's kind of your show, right? Where you talk about everything to do with safety, security, privacy within the corporate, business, governmental world kind of thing, right? That's what that. And again, it's free.
Yeah,
it's free. How do people join that?
There'll be a link down below to our webinars and also a website where we'll take you to the registration page if you want to join and watch the show.
Yeah, excited about this new thing.
Okay. New announcement happening in August.
Hold on, Brandon. New announcement.
Okay. Well, we've been working on this project for a bit.
We have been several months, actually. I mean, a part of that was creating the studio like we have as well. So.
Yeah, second set to be announced soon.
Yeah.
We're doing the Internet Safety Week for Parents and Caregivers. Yeah. It's kind of our back-to-school update kind of show.
Like once, for the past couple of years, we've been doing a back-to-school kind of thing with other social media experts who we follow and respect.
Yeah, we do like a panel.
Canadian-wise, right? We do a panel-wise. But this time we're doing a full week. Maybe you can talk more about it. Like, I'm excited about this because the content is going to be unbelievable and it's all free.
Yeah, so for parents and caregivers or teachers and such, and anyone really, we're doing between August 17th to 20th. So 4 days between 6:30 and 8:30 Pacific time. For 2 full hours, we are going to be talking about issues such as tools and resources for parents to deal with online issues, sleep issues, parenting challenges, leveraging the internet, exploitation and sexting, a ton of topics that a lot of parents and families are sometimes worried about and curious about. And we're going to address all of that during this week.
The one that I'm really excited to do at the very beginning is how to prepare your home now for the upcoming school year. Because some schools are going to be going back in, some aren't, some are going to be taking a hybrid, some are going to be doing still online teaching at home. So we've created a webinar to help parents now prepare the home, what you need to do to prepare the home and protect your home networks. So when your kids, because there were a lot of lessons learned in the spring and the summer before summer break because of we all moved over and everybody was going, what do we do? What do we do? And so, I mean, there were a lot of lessons learned. So as a result of that, we brought those lessons learned into this presentation to help make the transition back to school, especially for those families where schools aren't going to be opening full time. So they're going to be doing everything online or even a hybrid approach where some will go to school half the day, the other half the other, and the rest of the half they'll be at school. So that's what that's all about. But we're going to be talking about internet safety, social media literacy, just a ton of topics. And they can go to our website, right? Because you kind of posted this
all there, and the links to all this will be down below. It's one link, registration. You can watch it live or later. We do replays for full 7 days. So totally free. So please sign up if you're a parent or a caregiver. At the moment, the seats are limited.
And what's our website?
thewhitehatter.ca, and links to those will be down below in the description here on YouTube.
It's free. It's like 8 hours worth.
4 days, 8 hours worth of content.
It's just unbelievable. And, we wanted to keep it free because of what's going on with COVID and everything else that's going on in this world. Because if this would have been a premium, it would have been how much? Like it would.
It's about like a 50. If we were taking hours into your account, it'd be like about $55 potential dollars. $40 to $50 per. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is all free, right? It's kind of our way to say thank you to people who follow us, but also get everybody prepared, both parents, teachers, educators, and teens, preteens, kids ready for school.
Yeah. Full list, link me down below with the full list of the schedule, what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. Excited. Yay!
All right, now going into the news this week.
Oh, God.
All right.
This is all down
In the news. All right, news. Okay, this is kind of cool, though. Okay, so
Fawkes. What's Fawkes?
So,
where'd they get that name from?
It comes from the Guy Fawkes kind of.
Oh, the guy, those where they wear the masks with the the mustache and that kind of stuff.
So basically, some researchers have developed what they are calling like a sort of like poisoning system in facial recognition software.
Like poisoning?
You
poison the person?
It messes up the AI. So basically, we know that you take a picture, a selfie, you upload it to social media, Facebook or Google or whatnot. Well, we know there are programs or companies, Clearview, that will scour the internet and basically collect as much faces as possible to find people's names and do facial ID. So what this software does is that it basically begins to
use your words.
Poisons the data. So before an image is posted live, you as a human can't see the manipulation, but there's in the code of the image, there's manipulations to the face that when AI scans over it, it misidentifies who the person is.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So like the Signal app right now, we talked about that a number of times, is that when you post a picture, it immediately blocks out the face. But now, maybe there'll be apps that come out like this, that as soon as you upload a picture, it will poison the picture.
Yeah, I mean, a human can obviously make sense of who it is, who it's not. But for not AI,
not facial recognition.
And apparently the researchers have tried it with like Microsoft's system, Amazon's Face ID system, and apparently it has some success. So,
and speaking of Amazon,
okay, so some academics were able to smuggle 234 policy-violating skills on the Amazon Alexa skills store. So Amazon Alexa, developers can make skills for your Alexa to do cool, awesome, neat things.
Right.
Now, obviously, there are policies Amazon has in place and what you can and cannot have your skill do.
Right.
What these academics were basically studying and testing out is, were they able to
police it?
Yeah, we'll bypass the policy and check to make sure Amazon's actually checking for these things. So what these researchers were able to do, they were able to make apps that were able to give guidance on how to create dangerous materials, such as, and I'm not going to say it because YouTube might ban us, how to create dangerous materials.
A variety of different types of things.
Yeah, and the text is there. I'm not going to say it because YouTube will be like, oh, danger, and like demonetize it or something.
Yeah, like this, again, with great power comes even greater responsibility. In my opinion, these big companies are not policing themselves, right?
Yep.
Like it's all about money to them. So really, do they care? No, all they care about is the money.
It's in their policy, but I mean, like they're actually enforcing it. So these researchers are basically suggesting is, you know what? They have these policies. You can't, have guides on how to create dangerous things, promote or distribute legal material, or collect data on kids.
And you know what's funny about this? One of our friends with Boomerang, right? The Boomerang app, just a great app. His app just got kicked out of the Google store, right? Like, here we are, these big companies are supposed to be preventing this stuff going on because they're not doing it. Smaller companies are developing apps to help protect us and our kids. And all of a sudden, Google's kicking them out. Why? Because they're now trying to develop their own apps. It's like they're cornering the market. And that was one of the biggest fears, right? Was that these big vendor, multi-billion-dollar companies would start taking over all this stuff, and then they could do whatever it is that they want. I mean, there's going to be some huge or significant Senate hearings in the United States where they're going to be talking to all these groups because they're looking to split them up. And I'll be honest with you, I think the time is coming now where we need to start looking at that because it's just not fair. But this,
Will they even do anything? You split them up, but they still got to work together.
Yeah, but not only going to split them up, but they're going to put actual legislation in place now as well, right, to help police these guys. Because unless there's consequences to actions, you can publicly shame them all they want, but the shareholders aren't getting shamed. All they want is the money.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, enough. Like, this is brutal, right? It's brutal.
Yeah.
I told you it wasn't going to be a very happy show. Like, there's going to be
good announcements.
I mean, all this stuff is important for people to understand because, again, there's still a lot of people that have these Alexa listening devices in their homes, right? And they're listening. Yeah, they're listening. Anyways.
VPN company based in Hong Kong had, like 5 of its VPN. So some VPN companies actually run many other companies.
Okay, before we go on, explain what a VPN is to them.
Virtual private network, which is basically a tunneling system that basically encrypts your network traffic between your device and the endpoint.
So a good example, if I'm in Starbucks with my phone and I connect to the Starbucks free Wi-Fi using my phone and I don't have a VPN and I'm sending messages and doing stuff, what does that mean?
There is potential vulnerability in the data between your phone and the router. That data could be captured or sniffed.
All right. By a man-in-the-middle attack,
potentially,
right?
It depends on the app and how you use it.
So what does a VPN then do?
It basically makes your traffic encrypted, so the error data you send you can't be seen.
It's gobbledygook.
Yeah, basically. So some VPN companies actually...
And we recommend VPN, right?
Yeah, we use PIA, Private Internet Access.
So VPNs are a good thing.
Yes,
right?
they are.
And we continue to say that you should have a VPN on your system, but build upon this one.
Yeah, well, some VPN companies actually run various subsidiary VPN companies.
All right.
And that's just the business model they use. Now, some VPN companies have what they call a zero words today.
Collection of data?
Yeah, where they don't collect any of your personal data. They don't log, zero logs. They have no logs of your data.
Right.
Now, many companies, that's what they promote. Now, this particular company based in Hong Kong had a data breach where not a data breach, but apparently their servers were completely open and accessible, exposing private user data.
Now, were these free VPNs? Do you know?
These were free VPNs.
That's the reason why. When you started doing research many years ago on VPNs, one of the things you said to me was, Dad, we've got to make sure that we go with a VPN that doesn't collect your data, which is most of the free VPNs. We wanted to go with a VPN that we knew wasn't collecting any kind of data or storing any kind of data. That's why we went PIA, right?
Yep.
And free VPNs also have a habit of slowing your system down.
Yeah, they're usually slower, and there's a risk of data collection. But I mean, they were saying they don't collect data. Looks like they were. There was expos that proved it. So, I mean, just so you know.
Yeah, stick with paid versions of VPNs and go with a company that is maybe located outside of China, right? And stuff.
Well, let's not get into that argument about Hong Kong.
I know. But I mean, Hong Kong, like it or not, is under the legal jurisdiction now of China, and I mean they just anyways, it's a whole other issue, right? But you know, if you go with a VPN, go with one that's a paid VPN. I would go with one that's located in North America, Canada, US.
Mm-hmm. Right? SonicWall, which is a security.
Is that the name of a game?
There's Sonic the game, Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's it.
Not Sonic.
Okay, boomer.
Okay.
Okay, boomer. Okay, boomer.
It's not an old game. They're doing a remake now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
SonicWall, which is a cybersecurity research company, has come out with their mid-year cybersecurity report.
Oh.
And here's what they found, some interesting numbers.
Oh my
They found
God.
a 20% increase in ransomware globally and 109% increase in the US.
Can you please explain to the people who are watching this who don't know, what's the difference between malware and ransomware?
Well, technically, ransomware is malware,
right?
But the terminology are kind of used separately.
Okay,
so basically, ransomware is a piece of program that goes in your system and it locks it out from you unless you pay a fine, a ransom, to unlock your system. Malware is more so defined as a piece of program that goes and either steals your data, deletes your data, or messes with your stuff, or spies on you.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is specific to what you just said was malware, right?
Yeah. So they saw an increase in ransomware, 20% increase globally.
Doesn't surprise me.
But they saw a 24% decrease in malware. Makes sense because you're more likely to make money off ransomware because you lock out a system and you force someone to pay you money. Malware kind of just messes with someone's system. So it's more financially viable for hackers to do ransomware than malware.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Makes sense.
They saw an increase of 7% phishing attacks involving COVID-19. Yeah. We saw that in the beginning of January.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
They saw a 176% increase in malicious Microsoft file types.
Another reason to go with
no, it's
Apple.
cross-platform.
It's
cross-platform.
Apple.
It's cross-platform. Apple fanboy.
Sorry, I was just clearing my throat.
What are we streaming on? What do we stream on?
I don't know.
We stream on a PC.
Do we?
Yeah.
Apple.
Fanboy.
Apple.
They saw an increase of 50% rise in Internet of Things malware attacks.
This is an important one too, right? Like we use what's called a Bitdefender box now.
Yeah, we use, apart from our anti-malware programs, we have a physical device that's the Bitdefender box.
Yeah. So I mean, we have VPN, We have malware protection, and we have Bitdefender box as well to protect IoT, because everything connects to the internet now in the house, right?
Yeah. So they're seeing an increase of hackers, not necessarily trying to hack into computers, because hacking into computers is kind of a hard thing nowadays. But it's far easier now to hack into, say, your router or your smart TV.
And if you get into somebody's smart TV, you may be able to backdoor into the network?
Depends.
Okay.
It depends on how the communications work between TV and network.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a layered approach to protecting yourself against this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And in today's world, we should be doing that. Unfortunately, most companies, I think, bigger companies do it. Middle, small companies are getting better. A lot of families don't.
Yeah.
Right, and we're actually finding that some of this malware now and cryptoware is going and being targeted towards families.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Adobe.
Is this a good news one?
Adobe has pushed a fix to Photoshop and all its other programs.
Right.
Basically, there was a critical vulnerability discovered, and basically they put an update. So if you have Photoshop or any of the other Adobe Suite programs,
Which a lot of PCs have,
and Macs as well,
not as many.
you PC and Mac. It says PC and Mac.
Apple,
Macs
Apple,
are just as vulnerable as PCs.
Apple.
Oh dear. So if you use Photoshop or any of the other Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, make sure you update.
That's the most. It doesn't matter if you're on a PC or a Mac. If you have an Adobe product, just make sure you update.
Make sure you update it, because there is apparently vulnerability.
Hey, is there a downside on your systems? Because a lot of these programs say automatically update. You can push it to automatically update. Is there any downside to having that on all the time?
The only downside would be, like, let's say there's an update and there's a code error, so it doesn't work the way you intended.
So do you?
But from a security standpoint, there isn't really much of a risk.
Yeah. So do you recommend then that people should be setting those up to automatically update?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only issue is if you
Use your words.
words today. Wow. Basically, the only issue is if you have a system where you have a bunch of other things working, an automatic update might mess things up because it may not. Yeah. So generally, if you're doing that, you're doing more advanced things, so you kind of know how to work through all this, anyways. But yeah, automatic updates recommended.
Okay, let's have a good news story.
Twitter breach. So.
Wow.
So, I mean, this kind of went around the news cycle last week, talking about the Twitter social media attack. So basically, there were, 46-ish accounts
Yeah,
that
there
were
were quite a few.
apparently hacked, according to Twitter, and according to those users. And
And they were fairly well-known users too.
yeah, it was definitely a targeted attack against some pretty well-known people, and apparently, potentially direct messages were accessed. And according to Twitter, it was all via a social engineering attack,
What's social engineering?
I knew you were going to say that. Which basically means a hacker had convinced someone to give access to the hacker by using lies and deceit. And the interesting question I have is, so basically, probably a high-level engineer. I mean, Twitter didn't announce how this happened, which is interesting. But apparently, I'm going to assume a high-level engineer who had administrative access over, I'm assuming, all these accounts. Now, obviously, I'm thinking, okay, well, why does someone even have access to, say, the DMs of these accounts? So, when people go, oh, I have a private account. Yeah, you have a private account, except for the system admins. And if they mess up, well, then there's a vulnerability.
Well, that's the issue with not having two-factor authentication.
It wouldn't matter, because even if you have two-factor, it's two-factor. So even if you had two-factor on your account, which I'm assuming many of these high-level individuals in these 46 accounts had two-factor.
What if they move to end-to-end encryption?
Well, there's people online debating if Twitter should move to end-to-end encryption.
See, therein lies the danger now, right? Because if all of a sudden they move to end-to-end encryption, and then all of a sudden stuff is being posted. We had a really good discussion with that with the lawyer, right, that we interviewed here in Canada. That'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks on our Thinkable Thursdays. But it's interesting, because if they do that, then a lot of the criminal element will probably go back to Twitter now to use things, because everything's going to be encrypted. Nobody can see it.
No, they won't use Twitter. Twitter is designed to be mostly public anyway.
But if they move to end-to-end encryption, it's not public anymore.
Well, your public tweets will be public. It's only your DMs that'll be private.
I have an issue, right? I get it. And like the lawyer said, law enforcement, and I used to be law enforcement, are to blame for this. Because they were continually pushing the envelopes, doing things that they shouldn't be doing until such time, there is a belief in some law enforcement circles if it's not illegal, we'll just do it until we're told it's not illegal, right? So it's lawful, but it's awful, right? And as a result of that, we end up where we are, right? And that's not on either. But on the flip side of the coin, I don't want to see end-to-end encryption now protecting the criminal element either, right? So what do you do? How do you find that balance, right? Let's figure it out. We'll be rich.
Great. Data breach.
We're rich in love.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sad now.
Oh dear.
I know.
Database sold.
It's all the content that's making me sad.
All the content. Database from Couchsurfing.com is being sold on a hacking forum for $700. So basically, 7 million users' data was found being sold on a hacker forum, which basically that's where data is sold. And the data contain things like names, usernames, email addresses, locale, and other information such as user account verification and status. So I mean, no passwords, nothing super sensitive like that. But I mean, 17 million users, $700. Okay, what's the math on that?
I don't know, but as
I do the
as
math
you're
on
looking
that.
for the math, I mean, once again, with everything that we've spoken about to this point in time in the show, never, ever, ever forget that everything we do online is public, it's permanent, it's searchable, it's exploitable, it's copyable, it's shareable, and it's often for sale. Never forget that rule. Because with convenience comes vulnerability. And yeah, a lot of these apps and social, it's very convenient. It makes our lives much, much better, right? For sure. But with that comes the vulnerability because we're putting TMI, too much information out there. What's it equal?
Per user, 0.0000418.
Oh, all right.
So I mean, like each person's account is worth less than
A penny.
less. Than a penny. Anyways, so I mean, it's not super sensitive stuff, but I mean, like apart with all the other data breaches that are out there, I mean, you can definitely start building really sensitive profiles of people.
Right. Here we go. Good news.
Okay.
This is another not a good news one.
Dave.com, which is a financial.
That's a good handle. Tech Unicorn Dave.
Which is
I wonder if he wears a unicorn.
it's a financial.
I'm a unicorn.
He's trying to make things happy.
I'm trying. I am trying.
Which is a financial management app, and according to an email to ZDNet, they said the security breach originated from a network former partner, an analytics platform used by the engineering team. So basically,
there's nothing worse than a jilted partner.
Not that kind of partner.
Oh, sorry.
So no, how it was is that so a lot of apps are built upon other apps, right?
Okay.
Like you integrate with someone else as a partner. Okay. Now apparently one of these partners there was an issue. Probably because some hacker got access.
There's nothing worse than a jilted partner. It doesn't mean if it's in relationships, i.e. boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, or business partners. If somebody gets jilted, they can do something like this.
Data include real names, phone numbers, emails, birthdays, and home addresses.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, 7.5 million users. So, I mean,
I like the little bear. That's kind of happy on that app
oh,
of
that's
the day.
that's their icon. That's the Dave.
That's kind of cute.
That's the Dave.
That's Unicorn Dave?
That's Dave.
Well, why wouldn't he have a unicorn? If he's called Unicorn Dave, why wouldn't he have a unicorn thing on him? Anyways, it's kind of cute though.
That's the show.
Thank God, because there was nothing happy about that show. Like it was one of those weeks. It was one of those weeks, right? Where we've seen an increase in COVID in the United States. Poor you. Canada's doing really well, but the United States, holy.
Sorry, folks, about today's show.
Protests are on the way up again because of what's going on down south, and then holy crow, like this stuff. It's like, anyways.
Sorry about the show, everyone. That was the news. That was the relevant security news of the week. I mean, I guess the highlight would be we're doing free webinars in August.
Let's plug that one back up again. Let's put that one back up. That makes
put
me
it back
happy.
up.
That makes me. Let's flash that one back up.
All right.
That makes me happy.
Internet Safety Weeks for Parents and Caregivers.
There it is. Woohoo! That makes me happy. Brandon and I are going to be team teaching that. Hopefully, we're going to be using the second set down
Yes,
below.
our last part of the set should be arriving next 2 days.
You know, I was thinking, you know how we have the one stream deck here that this person handles?
Yeah.
But if you have the magic thing in your hand, you could manage it from down there too, right?
The 4 main scenes, yes.
That'd be kind of cool to try.
Yes.
Like I could go, okay, take it over, Brandon. Boop, I fall over to you.
People have no idea. So people don't know what we're talking about, and I'll probably do a video on this thing
I
in
want
a
to
bit.
call it. I want to call it the Iron Man effect.
So I mean, people don't. I mean, so if you've watched,
This is kind of happy.
if you've been watching our webinars, you will have noticed that I've been wearing this thing on our webinars, which is basically a gesture.
I am Iron Man. It's
not that cool. It's not that.
Oh, it's kinda though.
Basically allows for 8 gesture controls that you can program to as hotkeys, and then through our streaming platform, I've set different scenes as the hotkey. So basically, I do controls.
Can you do that now to demonstrate?
No, it won't. It's not set up that way.
No, that's right, because it's only for the crowd. Okay, gotcha. Kind of cool though, right? Because
Yeah.
you can do things like this, and it changes the screens and the cameras.
Yeah, I'll probably do a video review or something in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Because
I think it'd be kind of cool.
it's cool. It's a little finicky. There's definitely a learning curve to learning the gestures.
That's why the boomer ain't using it. Only the youngin' is. The other thing too is we got another capture card. So now we got 3 cameras. We got one here. We got one off on the angle that nobody sees, and then we got another one that goes off to our left that connects to a DSL camera. Is that what it's called?
It's a mirror, so an SLR.
So, and it allows us now to use a green screen over here that you can slide in and out. It's going to be so cool. It also allows us to connect to another camera down in the lower set, right?
Yes.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, we got plans, and definitely this week we'll be playing with all the tools.
And another happy, we got the new TELUS high speed
Yes.
in here. So we have the backup now. So now we have Shaw, but we also have TELUS, which is 1 megabyte upload and download speed, right? 1 gig. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not.
100 megabits.
Yeah, it's a gig. It's a gig up and a gig down. Or 978 is what they say.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Why is that important for us?
Well, if we're streaming, we need fast upload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing with it the other day in the house, comparing uploading and downloading stuff. It's like, compared to what I have now, it's like, oh my God, that's fast. That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Right. So we're going to have it out here, and the other, and technically, you now said now that we have both Shaw and TELUS, we could run 2 streams at the same time.
I mean, we could run 2 streams on our last network, but it was such a terrible upload speed, it would be risky. Now, I mean, you could probably run 3 streams on the TELUS network itself, but you can then definitely separate, Shaw and then TELUS separately.
Are you going to use it the game out here?
I could, yeah. Definitely low latency gaming.
Didn't you say that the higher the
upload
speed, the more tactical advantage you have?
Yeah, if you're playing against someone who has a poor upload speed, definitely your signal's going to get to the server faster, and then download and upload's better.
Yeah. I mean, so we've now got that installed. We just have to do a couple more things. Brandon's going to be doing a couple more things just to get that tidied up out here and stuff. So yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go for the fall, right? Doing what it is we're going to be doing with, hopefully, with schools and businesses and stuff. I mean, it's still an unknown about what's going on with schools. I saw today that the province its plan is to open elementary schools on September, but a lot depends upon what happens between now and then with respect to COVID to see if it stays, relatively where we are. But they have only mentioned elementary schools right now. They haven't said anything about middle schools and high schools. I have a feeling it's going to be a hybrid. But even then, even if they open the schools, I don't think they'll be allowing for big, like, in gyms we would have like 6, 7, 1,200 students.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be doing that.
Probably not a no-go.
Yeah. So moving to virtual, what we're doing now is such a big deal, and the way we're doing it compared to others is important. And we have others now very interested in what we're doing because I think they want to kind of maybe do what we do because we've seen them all, right? We've looked at all the
You've been the one watching all the webinars in the last couple months.
Like I'm up to 80 or something like that now, right, on these different platforms. And I'm going to toot our own horn. Our content is unique, but what is very unique is the way that we produce it out there to the masses to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Because, when you say webinar, a lot of people think Zoom, and that's what it is. A lot of people are just doing, you open up your laptop, use your camera to do a Zoom webinar. That's not what it is. This is like a professionally shot studio quality webinar, right? Like a lot of webinars, you look at them and the presenter is either not in the screen, all you see their slides, or if they are in the screen, they're just a little
tiny square.
Right. And you know, people want to see you. You're the the person who's presenting is the kind of sells it, right? Like, and it's a part of the show, right? That's what keeps people engaged. And so the way that we've prepared, because you can do this with this technology that you're now using, it allowed us to design basically our own webinar template, right? Yeah. I mean, and what's cool about what you've done, because this is all Brandon, although he says I look at all the webinars.
It's been a 2-year project.
Right, but the actual system that we now have is all you. But it allows us now to integrate with Zoom, Teams, Skype, a variety of different other platforms that are out there, right? How does it do that? Because you would think that Zoom would be very protective of their technology.
Well, I mean, it's just Zoom and all these other platforms looks for a webcam input. Basically, what we do is we use a virtual webcam. So whatever we push on our system, it gets pushed out as a virtual webcam. So in the computer system, it's detected as a regular old webcam. Okay. So the reason why these platforms, now not all platforms work as fluidly as like Zoom in terms of detection, but most do.
Yeah, we've integrated with a couple of different systems already. Like we've done Zoom, we've done Skype, we've done BlueJeans, right? Hangouts, we've done Hangouts as well. We've done YouTube, right, on their platform.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not video conferencing.
Yeah, but the Hangouts is kind of.
Hangouts is video conferencing, yeah.
So, and it works really well. So, I mean, it's quite exciting to see where we are and how you were able to do it, like at a really. You would think that would be really expensive to do. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't overly pricey either. I mean, a good example is you created these sound panels because we're in a room of 1,200 square feet, and there was a lot of echoing. And so, you know, other than soundproofing the entire room, which would have been cost prohibitive, you came up with this idea from YouTube, right?
Yeah, a lot of DIY, like sound producers, like home producers.
So tell them what you did. These are really cool.
Just basically sound insulation sheets wrapped around landscape fabric, which is super cheap. If you go to like a fabric store, it costs like, you know, super expensive for fabric, but for us, all we need is just like a black, breathable fabric. So I go to a hardware store, get some sound panels, and I get some landscape fabric, which is designed to go on the ground, so it's fairly durable. And you just wrap it around, put some hooks in there, hang up on some wire, and you have some sound insulation panels.
And it's amazing the difference it made. It made a significant difference, which is kind of really cool, right? So, and you learn that off of YouTube. In fact, a lot of what we're doing, you kind of mimicked off of people who are successful on YouTube, right? See, this is making me happy now. Like, this is happy talk.
He's trying to find, most of the systems it's just an upscale version of what streamers use on Twitch and YouTube.
Right, but what you did was you were able to bridge a variety of different technologies together to make that work, right?
No, it's the same technology like top-level streamers use, and even mid-level streamers. It's the same technology, but I've just scaled it up to have more of a studio
feel.
Yeah,
for sure. So we're really excited about this week event in August. Really excited, and we're even more excited it's going to be for free. Right? Get it out there to the masses. So, well, we ended the show really well. That made me happy.
You tried.
I'm happy now.
Yes.
I'm happy now. So on behalf of myself, I'm Darren.
And Brandon, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again on the White Hatter News Show Update Show.
Bye now.
Bye.